Shortly after the development of the DLCs for the first Evil Within, development of the sequel began. Shinji Mikami, creator and director of the first game, and founder of Tango Gameworks, stepped down from directorial duties and passed the torch to John Johannes, who directed the DLCs, and just recently directed Tango's latest title, Hi-Fi Rush. The goal with the sequel to The Evil Within would be to up the psychological horror aspects, and thus create a more personal narrative.
Well, one of the things we saw was we definitely wanted to have a game that focused more on characters, more on story. We put a lot of effort this time. Sebastian is coming back, but he's a much more relatable character, and you get to really journey with him from the beginning of the game to the end and see his evolution as a character. You see in the trailer and when you see in the gameplay, there is that psychological element that we sort of brought up a little bit in this one, and players will definitely see that when they play it.
The game took up the scale of the first game with a bigger world and more open level design, with more upgrades, a crafting system, and a more cinematic and character-based narrative. The result is the best survival horror game I have played, and one of my favorite games ever made. The fun and intense gameplay, coupled with what was, prior to Alan Wake 2, the best story I'd seen in a survival horror, with dense atmosphere that admittedly doesn't quite reach the levels of the first, but is still incredible. The mix of open and linear levels, the differing visual styles, incredible pacing with a variety of playstyles for any given situations. It's an incredible game. It was revealed at Bethesda's E3 2017 conference, with an incredible cinematic trailer.
Sebastian, for 3 years since Beacon happened, you've been searching for answers. You didn't find what you were looking for because they didn't want you to. Mobius knows you've been following us, and they've been watching you for a long time. You trained and trusted me, and in return, I betrayed you. Long before we met, you lost your daughter, Lily. She's still alive. This is your chance to save her. To get back what you lost. Lily needs you. You're gonna need to go back into STEM. Again.
There's no ordinary world. Somehow I have to find. And as I try to make my way to the ordinary world, I will learn to survive. Away.
Hell yeah, October Friday the 13th. What a great song they use as well. Really love the cinematic feel of the trailer. Speaking of that cinematic feel, due to the mixed reception of the aspect ratio of the first game, this game doesn't have it. Until you beat the game and unlock it. Yeah, we're gonna be rocking it for this video, along with a mixture of some first-person view that this game has, which is a great and immersive way to play. The difficulty selections include Casual, Survival, Nightmare, as well as the unlockable Classic mode. For me, Nightmare is absolutely the way to play, as Survival is a bit too easy. Nightmare is a perfect survival horror difficulty for this game, and extends the playtime by quite a bit. Classic mode is really interesting, as a survival horror staple, limited saves makes a return. However, these saves aren't items you find. From the start, you are given 7 and only 7 opportunities to save throughout the whole game, which is way too little. In the classic Resident Evils, with the way I played, I always had more than enough saves. On top of that, you can't upgrade your abilities or your guns, which takes away a lot of the fun of the gameplay and makes some encounters hell. Nevertheless, it's still a cool mode. Now let's get into the game. We begin with an intense opening, as we flash back to protagonist Sebastian Castellanos, arriving to see his home engulfed in flames, with his daughter, Lily, left inside. The fire effect is quite good here as we make our way into Lily's room. This is some disturbing stuff here. Sebastian wakes up at some bar, with none other than Kidman sitting across from him. Their character models are so good. Big Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss vibes.
It's been a long time.
3 years. I've been trying to track you down for 3 years.
And you thought you'd find me at the bottom of an empty bottle. Is that it?
We've got new actors playing Sebastian and Kidman. Marcus Bobsich plays Sebastian, and Meg Sarkis voices Kidman. Now, their voices aren't as good to listen to as Anson Mount and Jennifer Carpenter in the first, but I do think their performances are better, mostly due to the writing being way better in this game.
You're gonna tell me about Mobius.
There are moments where the voice acting is pretty campy, even when it's not really meant to be, but I still think they did a great job.
Where did you get this?
Lily's still alive.
Lily is dead! I read the police report! I was at her funeral!
We can rewrite history if we want to. Staging a death is child's play. Why would I come out of the shadows just to lie to you? Lily is alive, and she's with us. But she's in danger. We need you to help save her.
Save her? What have you done to her?
This is such a fantastic opening scene. Sebastian is unhinged right here as he brawls with the Agent Smiths. Kidman reveals Sebastian's daughter Lily is still alive and lost in the STEM system. Sebastian is gonna need to go back in and save her.
We need you. Lily needs you.
Where are we?
You're in one of our facilities.
So this is the almighty Mobius, huh?
We are wheeled into Mobius's base and meet the G-Man, who reveals that Lily is the core of the new and improved STEM. In the previous STEM system, Ruvik was the core, as psychopaths apparently make the best fit for a core, I guess. But obviously that didn't work out too well last time. The next best thing, then, is the mind of a child. Mobius's goal is complete global saturation.
Complete global saturation.
The new stem takes the form of Mobius's custom-made town, Union. But now Lily has disappeared and the system has become unstable. A Mobius team went in but is unresponsive. Now Sebastian must go in. This is such a good build-up, and already the story is very personal, with Sebastian fighting to save his daughter.
In the first game, Sebastian's kind of a jerk, and his whole motivation is he shows up and the police get called to this thing, and he's a detective, but there's no pull or like sort of relatable moments where you kind of empathize with him. It's like it sucks for you and it sucks for him because you're both getting scared and both trying not to die. Whereas this time around, because you see him so kind of broken down by what happened in the first game, and you sort of understand the connection between a father and his daughter and that motivation, I think he's much more relatable.
Yeah, and he has that drive this time to go further. Yeah.
Like he knows what he's doing this for.
The stakes are a lot higher this time around.
Absolutely.
I love how this story took the previous game's protagonist, who was met with mixed reception, and gave them a much more personal story, where they have to save their daughter, who is named after a flower, and also their wife goes missing, so they have to go into this town or village of sorts, where he has to fight these group of villains who want his daughter's power for their own. Yeah, Resident Evil Village's story really took notes from this one, huh? Down the rabbit hole we go. This visual of falling into STEM is incredible. This is such a good intro. The Evil Within just has such incredible vibes. I really need another one. We arrive at the new and improved safe room. Instead of some crummy beacon ward, we're inside Sebastian's mind palace at the KCPD. With the communicator, we have a line to Kidman so we can relay info to each other. We are tasked with finding the Mobius members. This safe room is really cool. In Sebastian's office, there's info on our people of interest. We can switch outfits and view our Bethesda game collectibles. These are really fun to collect. In the main room, there's a slide projector.
Slide projector? Where did my memory dig this up? Elementary school?
We use this to view memories and talk to Kidman. I really love these conversations. This alone is way more character-focused than anything in the first game. I love it.
Ill until you've lost your family.
I never had a family to lose. Just two people who brought me into this world and treated me like a burden instead of a daughter.
Better to have loved and lost? Is that what you're saying? You still up, Kidman?
No rest for the wicked. What's going on?
I can't believe Lily is still alive. You around, Kidman?
For you? Always.
Thanks, Kitty. A mirror. Just like Beacon. Should be a way out. Why couldn't my memory just make regular doors?
A mirror of light appears and Sebastian steps back through the looking glass.
Into the looking glass. Is this the right place? What the?
Chapter 2 mostly takes place in this awesome hotel area. We're not at Union yet. This is some psycho's mind palace. Love these curtains and the way this door works here. Sebastian finds a gruesome murder site. These are so cool, the way this psycho has trapped these people in their moment of death.
The team leader. One bullet. Straight through the head.
Look at this area right now. Peak horror atmosphere.
Hello? Shit. Hey! Damn it! What's going on here?
See that guy there? Creepy. We see the next murder occur as this freak guts another Mobius team member. This is Stefano Valentini, one of this game's 3 villains, and the best of the 3, I'd say. Dude, take in this atmosphere right now. This is some real Silent Hill stuff. This area is such a highlight of the game. The buzzsaw tees, the shutter eye, the barbed up bodies and decor. Yes to all of this. Yo, check this thing out. Once again, the art direction is going hard for the sequel. We go down to some basement where we get such a perfect horror sequence.
Oh. What the hell?
This thing is called the Guardian. Why? I don't know. These chases are so intense. This thing is so creepy.
Hello there.
trapped in here. Or maybe not.
Man, Sebastian's kind of an idiot, huh? He cracks me up in this game sometimes.
Oh, I don't hear it. You gotta be kidding me.
Another intense chase ensues, but this time, Stefano shows up, throwing his knife into Sebastian, ironically giving us the knife we'll be using throughout the whole game. Some light appears and teleports us out of there, tying into my theory about how Sebastian is somewhat able to influence STEM. Enter Chapter 3, which is just like the first game, is my favorite chapter in the game, mostly due to it being an open chapter. This game has 3 really awesome semi-open world chapters, and I really love the gameplay that goes into it.
Kidman?
Sebastian, where have you been? We lost you.
I don't know. But it sure as hell wasn't a quaint little town. There's something bad happening in here, Kidman. Baker is dead. There's a killer running around in here, doing things that are... It's like Beacon all over again. What the fuck did you just send me into?
We get my favorite little stretch of the game atmosphere-wise, with this awesome mist with light rain in this suburban area. Such a great aesthetic. Wish it lasted throughout the whole chapter. Check out this cool detail with this car when you hit the glass. Love that attention to detail. From afar, we see a woman run into a house. Then we get a scene that has to be a nod to Resident Evil 7.
Skin and bones. Gotta eat. Clean your plate. You gotta eat. Skin and bones. I said eat! There we go. I'm doing what's best for you.
What the...
So grotesque and disturbing. These enemies are known as the Lost. The lore in this game is really cool. These people were coerced into a fake religious organization set up by Mobius so they could get kidnapped and plugged into the STEM system. Then they are brainwashed into being an NPC, a citizen of Union. That was until Lily went missing, and most of the citizens turned into corrupt monsters. We come across a whole bunch of Lost, swarming these 2 Mobius members, one of which is taken out. The other makes way to a shelter. Sebastian sneaks his way in and encounters the guy. Love this interaction.
You're right. I don't work for Mobius, but I was sent here by them.
Have you seen what those things out there? What they can do?
Yeah, I have.
Stop! Or I'll shoot! No!
A soldier would have taken the safety off. You haven't even taken the safety off, rookie. Let's try this again. I'm Sebastian Castellanos.
This scene alone has better Sebastian dialogue than all of the first game. The writing in general is so much better than the first. Sebastian has great back and forth dynamics with Kidman, O'Neill, and other characters we meet later.
Ask me, there's a thin line between brave and foolish.
Yeah. There's a thin line between prudent and cowardly, too.
Tomato, tomato, I'm not saying I'm glad he's dead. What kind of asshole do you think I am?
So what's interesting is we get this in-game optional dialogue, which is very janky looking. I appreciate that we get this dialogue though. Going through the different options will unlock side quests. Oh yeah, this game's got side quests. Not the most intricate side quests, they're pretty simple, but are well worth going through. What we are in now is known as a safe house. Safe houses consist of supplies, a workbench, a mirror that leads to a safe room, and an exclusive mechanic that you don't get in the safe room. Coffee. Sam Lake's hyped. Yes, Sebastian can drink coffee at safe houses and regain all of his health. Awesome!
Nice. Takes the edge off.
After doing so, a long recharge cycle will happen before you are allowed to drink more. Also, in some safe houses, you will have an ally, such as O'Neill, that you can have dialogue with and get side quests from.
What the? Who was that?
Alright, now we got our first mirror, and the return of Tatiana. This is so hype.
What the hell? Hey, let me out of here!
Detective Castellanos, what a pleasant surprise. Welcome back.
You again? How are you here?
I could ask you the same question. Regardless, it's nice to see a familiar face. Even if that face has seen far too much. You look tired, Detective. I can help you get back in shape. Just like before.
We're back at the locked ward of Beacon with the upgrade chair. Love how Claire de Lune always plays here. Here we have the best part. You can talk to Tatiana.
How am I ever going to get these nails right if you keep interrupting my manicure?
Her dialogue is incredible. Every conversation with her is ethereal.
This place. It's just like Beacon. But this isn't Beacon. This is Union.
Is it? It all seems familiar to me. These walls, that chair, you. For me, it's as if nothing has changed at all.
Claire de Lune playing in the background is a cherry on top. The upgrades this time around are insane. In the first game, each upgrade only barely felt like it made a difference. It was very much a gradual build-up. Here, every upgrade's impact is felt. We also have skill trees that align certain playstyles a lot more. Yo, these stealth upgrades are insane. So much fun. Some of these can be really overpowered too, like this time-slowing one that you get from completing a skill tree. Weapon upgrades are also much more in-depth and important, with a lot of the last upgrades in a skill tree being really useful. Once again, there are lockers in which you'll need to find statues that contain the keys. These are easier to find than in the first, and are very useful.
You brought something with you. A key? Excellent.
A new system of crafting is implemented, where you can make bullets and such using resources you find. This adds an extra layer to gameplay by making resource gathering very important. There's also a difference between crafting at a workbench and crafting out in the world. Field crafting takes up more resources, so there's a balance between needing to make items immediately for a certain situation, but having to use more resources doing so.
It's everything in a survival horror game, right? Because like you said, it's resource management, which is such a key element to playing through this game. And in this one, that remains. You know, we didn't sacrifice that for sort of going through these big action pieces. It really is about exploring this world and finding anything that you can find and take, craft together to make it to the next area, to make it to the next step. And you know, it's tough. Yeah.
We leave the safe house and we get a new mechanic with the communicator. The communicator allows you to pick up different frequencies such as main objectives, side quests, these Mobius frequencies that lead you to dead Mobius soldiers that you can loot. There's also these echoes that show you flashbacks of things that happened to people in Union.
Another beautiful day. I can't remember the last time it was overcast or too cold. Always feels just right. I'm truly blessed to be born and raised in Union. Never left this place. I don't want to. I plan on dying here. Smell that. It smells like spring. The flower beds they planted here are really something, aren't they?
I love how much lore and depth this gives the world. In the first game, you were just jumping around to different locations all the time. In this game, the world feels way more cohesive. These flashbacks are really cool. I love how you see peeks into what Union was like when it was a functioning town, and how the NPCs interacted. Seeing when stuff fell apart is really cool too.
Ted, where are you? I've been looking for you all over the place. Shit, John. What are you doing down here? I'm supposed to see this. I don't understand. Whoa, don't point that thing at me. We're best friends, man, come on. I know. And that makes what I have to do even harder. Stop joking around, man. Sorry, John. But I have to do this. Mobius doesn't allow for mistakes. Mobius? What on earth is Mobius?
Chapter 3 is where we'll go full on with the gameplay. It's as intense as ever. The gunplay feels really good, but it maybe doesn't feel as impactful as the first games. The gore isn't as good as well. The blood in this game looks really cartoony. My favorite aspect of the gameplay is the stealth. It's so much fun. There's so many stealth kill animations here. Sometimes Sebastian will struggle to take down an enemy. Other times it's a quick execution. And of course there are different animations depending on what enemy type you're trying to kill. I love the detail of Sebastian slowly taking out his knife as you approach an enemy. The stealth upgrades can add a lot as well. You could do corner takedowns, you can throw bottles to stun enemies and open up for a stealth attack. You can make your footsteps quieter through upgrades. There's this really cool and overpowered upgrade where if you're close to an enemy, you can hold down the cover button and that will have Sebastian rush towards the enemy. You can stealth attack it for a cool animation. There are two mechanics that are sorely missing from the first game. That would be the lantern, which is replaced by a flashlight, which is definitely not as cool as the lantern. There's also the erasure of matches. Matches were such a cool mechanic in the first, and it sucks that it's not in this game. Alright, let's get into all the different stuff we can find here in Chapter 3. One of the side missions leads us to a Warden crossbow. Pretty much the same as the Agony crossbow from the first game, with a variety of different useful bolts we can use. There's this church where we see an NPC turning into a Lost.
Please.
One of my favorite Sebastian moments happens if you run back out the door.
Fuck that.
Love the dialogue in this game so much. Another side quest leads us to a house where we find a terminal. We can use these to go to the Marrow, another layer of STEM parallel to Union. This is where Mobius maintains Union from inside STEM. Here we meet a new frightening enemy type. This is known as a hysteric, a girl with long white hair and a white fit holding a knife, very Japanese. These things just croak and walk back and forth. Easy, you can just sneak up and... Nope, that doesn't work. So scary the first time this happens. If you can lose it and get another stealth attack in, it will die. Or fighting it head on, it will take a lot of damage and will kill you really quickly if you let it get close. This area is where you'll find the shotgun. Back to Union, man, I love this setting so much, and I love all the different random encounters that will happen.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Look at this suburban street, so awesome. Now this is one of my favorite parts about the open world segment, because here you go in some random house, read a chilling journal, then everything goes weird and this fucking thing shows up. What the?
What the fuck is happening? It's coming for me. I gotta get out of here.
Anima, one of the coolest things I've seen in a horror game. These encounters are all completely missable, terrifying, and really awesome. This thing is responsible for everyone turning into Lost. She is only visible to her victims, and she wears these weird rags. She's like that mummy from that one episode of Doctor Who. If she catches you, she straight up sucks out your soul. So in these encounters, we get transported back to Beacon. Love having the first game's atmosphere back in. Anima patrols around, seeing this creepy-ass version of Claire de Lune, and calling out our name. We have to find a way out. When we do, the encounter ends. Man, that was an intense missable thing. Let's see what this other random house has. Guess what? Another incredible sequence, where we dive into what Sebastian has been haunted by this whole time, the incident at Beacon.
File number 15. Interview with Detective Sebastian Castellanos. Detective, could you please tell me about that day at Beacon Mental Hospital?
I told you 10 times already.
Let's go through it one more time.
This is more like an interrogation than an interview.
Please. Detective.
That's me.
We see how some psychiatrist is trying to persuade Sebastian that none of it was real, and then we are once again transported to Beacon.
You cannot keep me here. You cannot keep me here.
Now what's cool is that normally the aspect ratio was full screen in your first playthrough. For this part in particular, it goes back to the first game's 235:1 aspect ratio, which was so hype when I played this for the first time, as someone who really loved its implementation in the first game. This is straight up that one area from Chapter 5 as well. Love seeing an old environment in the STEM engine. Again, another incredible missable sequence that adds a lot to Sebastian's character. Stuff like this makes the game truly special. On the other side of town, there's a horde of infected near a supermarket. Past that is this cool train, which is a really cool environment to go in. There's also these random encounters where you trip over a tripwire, and this camera slows everything down. Also, after that anima sequence, she can now randomly spawn in and hunt you down throughout the world, which is so scary. There's an auto shop that you could go into, find a way underground, and there's a bunch of loot. This is part of a side quest where you're following these two guys, which leads you to this visitor center, where you see that they were killed by Stefano. Again, this is just a side quest, you could have missed this. And it's this cool encounter where you go into Stefano's dimension again.
What the hell is this supposed to be? It's sick.
Back to the auto shop, around the back of it, there's this laser-sighted pistol, which is really cool and definitely a nod to Resident Evil 4. Past this area, we see this fucking thing, which is so scary. If it sees you, it'll shriek, which awakens a bunch of Lost that were deactivated on the ground. This is also another enemy where if you get 2 stealth kills in, it will kill it. But you don't want to alert it, so it's best to avoid it completely. If you want to take it head on, the best thing to do is snipe it. We don't have a sniper? There's one right here. Love the sniper. Usually I'm not good with sniping in action games, but in survival horror, it's my best weapon. Especially in this game, it's so powerful, but its bullets are really expensive to craft, and you don't actually find much raw ammo around, so you will mostly have to craft ammo for the sniper.
Sounds like someone's in trouble.
There's also this random encounter with this NPC. It's really interesting how Mobius kidnapped these people, put them in the system, brainwashed them into thinking they're NPCs of Union. Here we see the brainwashing has reversed, and she doesn't even know where she is anymore.
1 minute, I was in that office being interviewed by that Asian doctor lady. The next thing I know, I'm in this town I've never been to, wearing clothes I've never seen, and there's this guy who says he's my husband telling me to run. I'm not married, mister. None of this is real. It can't be.
At the far end of the map, there's a new safe room to go into, and past that through the woods is our main objective. We are here for a reason after all. We track down Lily's location to this gas station. And we follow a trail using some detective work, not before running into these 4-legged freaks. These guys are definitely meant to evoke lickers from Resident Evil 2. They are super tough and really fast. I love how many enemy types there are in this game. We follow the trails of this factory. We see that it was Stefano who took Lily, but where could he be?
But I know who has her, and he's got powers like nothing else in here. But I lost him.
I think I can help you out with that. I picked up a frequency I've never seen before. It's coming from City Hall.
Great. Where's that?
Look up. Do you see a building with a big clock tower?
Yeah.
That's it.
How in the hell am I supposed to get up there?
It's a bit complex. Come back here, I can explain.
This is the start of Chapter 4. What's really cool about this one is the map now completely refreshes enemies. More of the tougher enemy types appear, in greater numbers as well. There's an interesting choice here, whether to mostly ignore these guys or try to farm for more gel. In order to get all the way up to where City Hall is, we need to go through the Marrow. To explain the whole process, we head back to O'Neill for some more great back and forth dialogue.
We call it the Marrow. It exists in a layer separate from what you see.
That doesn't make any sense.
Fortunately for you, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to work. Everyone in Union was tested before they were placed in STEM. There's no way they'd let a psycho in here.
Well, I'm here. They didn't test me.
But you're not a psychopath. Right?
Why do you think he chose to camp out at City Hall?
It's probably got something to do with the stable field emitter we set up there.
Damn it. What's a stable field emitter? I'm getting ready to head into the Marrow, which you neglected to tell me about, to get to him.
I'm sorry we didn't have time for a briefing before sending you in, but we didn't think it would be this bad.
It's just as bad as Beacon in here. No, it's worse. My daughter wasn't stuck in Beacon.
Okay, calm down.
Before going into the Marrow, we go into the safe room. There's something a little different here. A new room.
Huh? Was that door there before? What the hell is this?
It's a chance to test your skills. Step right up and try your luck, Detective.
This is insane.
You'd be insane to pass this up. Steady your hand and put your shooting skills to work. No need to worry about ammunition in here.
This is the kind of stuff that makes this game so special. This is so much fun. There are different shooting range levels and this cool game mode, which is surprisingly strategic and really fun. You get resources like gel and locker keys for doing well. The dialogue is pure camp. It's so good.
You're the best around, Detective.
And nothing's ever gonna keep me down. Hell yes.
You deserve a round of applause for that. I'm sure there's someone out there that will provide that for you.
I thought I was better than that. Disappointed!
Don't worry, it's just you and me in here. I won't tell anyone what just happened.
And if you get every reward, Sebastian says this.
I should probably get back to that whole finding my daughter thing.
Incredible.
You look like you could use some help, Detective. Back again, I see. And in need of some improvements. You're getting closer to what you seek. I feel it.
My daughter. She's somewhere inside this place.
Yes, and you're determined. I can sense a change in you. Let's change you further. Give you the tools you need to find her.
Back to going to the Marrow. The Marrow environment definitely evokes the first game's atmosphere. I love this room with the map of Union. I get big Westworld vibes from this. The way that probably the Mobius scientists were here, building out Union from in the Marrow, programming the NPCs, very Westworld indeed. But there's a tunnel filled with toxic gas. Thankfully, O'Neill gave us his gas mask. This forces us into a first-person perspective, making for a really intense sequence. One of those shriekers is in the tunnel with us. Sebastian turns on the power and we get out of there.
Detective Castellanos, always a pleasure to see you. This place is ill. It's in critical condition. The infection has spread beneath the surface and into the muscles and bones. Only the veins remain to connect the failing extremities. And even those aren't immune. It seems, however, that you have no interest in healing this place. Your only interest is getting your hands on the cure. So be it. I am here to help you with whatever you decide to do.
We find the computer that will bring us to City Hall. Enter Chapter 5. Definitely one of my favorite parts of the game. At the front of City Hall, we are met with the Guardian for this boss fight. This fight is so intense. You can choose to escape by running around the back of the building, or you can choose to fight, and you are rewarded with that sweet, sweet green gel. Inside the City Hall, which is very reminiscent of the RE2 police station, we meet a downed Mobius team member who gives us a key card right before he dies, just like Marvin. Look at this guy.
That's his MO. He's somewhere in here.
There's a puzzle where we have to match up this mannequin with a picture to reveal a hallway of this awesomely disturbing art. When this game goes full horror atmosphere with these Stefano segments, it's incredibly well done. In first person as well, insanely good. Man, I swear, some people really downplay this game's horror design in comparison to the first, but this stuff is so great.
This has to be the emitter.
We approach the stable field emitter, and then Stefano appears.
You've been searching for me for so long. Fear radiates from you. It's beautiful, but not yet finished. I am Stefano, and now you are my art.
Son of a bitch!
Now we meet an incredible monster, Obscura, some sexy camera leg thing.
Meet my beautiful Obscura.
In this fight, Obscura stops time to stop the stable field emitter. We have to shoot the camera to make time go.
Just have to hold it off until the emitter starts.
80 seconds.
We get the stable field emitter up and active, but unfortunately Stefano still manages to escape.
Gotta figure out where he took her. Think I might have just figured it out.
Bruh.
I'm picking up the signal again, but now it's coming from the theater in the other part of town.
Stefano has now moved to another part of Union, so we have to go hunt him down, which means going back through the marrow here in Chapter 6.
You've returned. And now you fully understand what you're up against. He's powerful.
He's also a sick freak.
But he is as driven as you are, and seeking the same thing. You are more alike than you'd care to admit.
I'm not like him. He's a murderer.
And there are no bodies strewn in the path behind you?
I'm not here to debate with you. Let's get going. I've got stuff to do.
These Marrow segments are very much like your average portion of the first Evil Within. The atmosphere especially is very reminiscent. We meet this fucking thing and get the hell out of there. We stumble upon a new safe room and meet the next Mobius team member on the list, Yukiko Hoffman, the team psychologist.
I'm the team psychologist.
Right. The team psychologist. How did you... Right.
The team psychologist.
She was responsible for interviewing people Mobius would then kidnap, and responsible for choosing to bring Lily into the system. I especially like the dynamic between Sebastian and Hoffman throughout the game. We receive files on Stefano and we learn he's a serial killer who likes taking pictures of his murders. It's a part of his so-called artistic vision, and he wants Lily so he can take control of STEM and base it around his vision.
Sounds familiar. I know of another flamboyant artist who failed. Then he started World War II.
We are directed to the financial district of Union for Chapter 7. I love the feel of this area. This is another semi-open world segment, much smaller than the first, but has the same basic structure. A bunch of enemies everywhere, a bunch of loot, and some random encounters and side quests. We're trying to find a way into the theater. In order to enter, we need to destroy 2 of Stefano's so-called works of art. There's this Metal Gear Solid 2 nod. Another cool thing introduced in this chapter is these mini-boss encounters.
Shit!
As there are some guardians roaming around the map. I understand some people feel like this takes away from the gravitas of the original boss, but I like this element where we can avoid these guys or fight them for gel. Past one of these guardians, we find a key that opens a shed. We find a new shotgun and another anima encounter. At least we got that out of the way. Let's see what's in this cool diner. Cool vibes. What's on this jukebox? Look at this room right now. Something about this room gets me. Where are we right now? The vibe here is almost eerie, almost calming. In this segment, we have a bunch of doors, and in order to see the correct door to progress, we have to look in the mirror. All that while Anima is chasing us around. Back to reality, well, somewhat reality. We hear someone fighting some monsters. This is where we get introduced to the GOAT, Sykes. Sykes is just the best. We help him out, but you could easily just leave him to die here, which is so interesting. Also, if you don't follow up on some of his side quests, you'll just find him dead somewhere.
Another team member down. I should have listened to him. I should have helped him out.
Sykes tasks us with fixing a server in the Marrow.
Relax, Detective. How may I assist you? You seem more at ease, Detective. You've found a possible ally in this dangerous world.
Not sure about that. I never know who to trust in here. Present company included.
A shame. After all we've been through together. Isolation and distrust aren't symptoms of mental illness, but they are unfortunate byproducts of it. Closing yourself off from others does nothing but agitate your condition. You are human. You require connection the way a plant requires light.
The only connection I require right now is to your machine. I've still got a long road ahead of me.
Now let's find some of these paintings. One is in this bar. Incredible line from Sebastian right here.
I'm gonna stab the shit out of you.
We go into the painting like it's Mario 64. We get some Obscura origins.
Don't cry. You're becoming art. You shall be part of my Obscura. Flesh. Less malleable than clay. Softer than marble.
And we make our way through and destroy it. Another painting is in this cozy hotel. And then we run into Obscura.
You again. All right. This should get me close to that art. Shit. Maybe I can sneak by it.
Now I bet a lot of people just run, grab the key, and get out. But this can be a really intense optional boss fight as well. Again, rewarding you with the green gel. Obscura is such a cool creature. This is a really intense boss fight.
Back again, Detective. You seem able to navigate this broken world.
Yeah, but it's not easy.
Nothing is easy in this place. But a broken mind in a broken world. Maybe there's a reason that you're here.
That's a grim way of looking at it.
I'm merely pointing out something that would be apparent if you were able to step outside yourself. But perhaps stepping outside yourself isn't what you need. Maybe you need to go further inside yourself.
Now with both paintings destroyed, we can enter the theater. But before we do that though, let's go all the way back to O'Neill. Yes, all the way back there, because you get the best Easter egg ever.
Sebastian, what are you doing here?
I'm in the middle of some serious shit right now, O'Neill. I could use some help out there.
No way.
Are you kidding? Do you know how long it took me to come back here to talk to you about this?
You could have just called, you know.
Are you coming with me or not?
I told you I wasn't going to leave this place. It's fucking evil out there.
That may be, but there's evil within, too.
Whatever. I'll take my chances in here. See you around, Sebastian.
This is the most hilarious thing I have ever seen. Now let's go all the way back to the theater for Chapter 8.
He's gotta be in here somewhere.
We enter the theater for some cool vibes. Now we have this incredible confrontation with Stefano. This is so unhinged.
My work, however, will continue. Picasso had his blue period. I have entered my crimson period. Shit! No! Don't! Behold my latest creation. No! decay of flesh and blood.
You sick bastard!
How will I ever top this? I'll find a way. Her fear is always inspiring. Nothing like the corruption of innocence to spark the fire of creation.
It's time to take him down. There's this cool scarecrow segment.
You're preparing to face one of your greatest challenges. Will you be ready for it?
With your help, I hope so.
You'll need more than my help. Maybe there are others here who can assist you, who have the same goal.
I haven't met them yet. If they even exist, and there's no time to wait for them.
I hope you're ready. You are still so full of rage and uncertainty.
Maybe. But Lily needs me. I have to at least try.
And if you die trying?
Dying isn't an option for me.
Sebastian comes across what Stefano plans to be his own murder site. It's boss fight time. This is a cool fight, as we're fighting a human for once, albeit a human with crazy powers. We never got to fight Ruvik himself in the first, so this is pretty cool. The camera monster in the background periodically stomps on the ground, so we gotta be careful of that. Stefano will teleport around trying to stab us. He can throw his knife at us too. He deals crazy damage if he hits you. Your opportunity of attack will only come right after he tries and hits you. Sebastian defeats Stefano once and for all.
Still time. For one last photo.
That was a great execution. Back to the theater, we finally meet Lily, who was scared of Sebastian because she believed he died. Then Ruvik reveals himself. Oh, it's Myra. Myra reveals herself. She was controlling that one monster from Chapter 6. Myra herself seems to be corrupted and takes Lily away. We awaken at the safe room for Chapter 9.
A giant red X. Now that's art.
These one-liners, man. The mood in here is different, as the decor has completely changed.
What is this? Where's the mirror? I thought that I'd seen the last of you.
Oh no. You have many more miles to go.
No kidding. Myra's in here. And there's something wrong with her. All I wanted was to save Lily. And now, I don't understand what's going on. Stefano is dead. But there's something else in here now. Something worse. Please, tell me what you know.
All I can tell you is that your mission isn't over. There's more for you to do. Events set in motion long ago are coming to bear. You must be ready. So, how can I help you prepare?
We are transported into the catacombs. This is a really cool setting. It's very reminiscent of Resident Evil Village, with all these torture devices and everything. We then get the coolest shot in the game. This is very reminiscent of that other shot from the first game, where Sebastian is thrown through the world. Then we get introduced to these fire guys. These guys are really intense, as when they're on fire, we can't really do much to them. When they're not on fire, that's our opportunity. These guys are really tough.
This place I'm going through. It's hell. Literally. So much suffering and death.
Yes, You need strength to traverse it. Strength and willpower.
I don't know how much more of this I can take.
You've only just begun to test your limits. To plumb the depths of why you're really here.
Why I'm really here? I'm here to save Lily.
Yes, but to succeed at that, there are other challenges you've yet to conquer.
Then we get this really cool puzzle that we have to do, where we have to create this runway and the symbol of the insignia in order for blood to run and open the path. I love having puzzles like these in a survival horror game. Then we get introduced to our next villain, Father Theodore. This guy is kind of lame, to be honest. He's just another guy who wants power from Lily in order to take control of STEM. He was the one in charge of the religious front that Mobius was running in order to kidnap people. We saw a hint of this at the beginning of the game in the hotel. Apparently Theodore now has Lily, but he wants Sebastian to go through some trials and tribulations in order to get to her. While Theodore's personality is kind of boring, he does offer a good psychological battle to Sebastian. We really get to explore Sebastian's conflicted mind in this part of the game.
Why? You refuse to see. It's all your fault. You are a failure. Your daughter is lost because of you. You couldn't save her.
You hold the key to ease your torment. I can guide you to the lock.
Who are you? What do you want with me?
We are transported once again to a new location. We wake up at some cabin with the next Mobius team member, Torres.
Use a little help here. You know how to use a gun, right?
We team up with her for this cabin fight. What's with these damn cabin fights? Resident Evil 4 is of course the blueprint for all of this.
Take that side. Keep shooting until they're dead or we run out of ammo.
What the hell is going on here?
We can talk later. Focus on staying alive.
It's a really intense horde segment as well. When we get through it, we traverse through this Last of Us looking environment. This is a really cool area. Unfortunately, it doesn't last very long because this chapter is pretty short. Torres reveals to us that this has all been part of the plan.
Wait, I'm lost. What plan?
Her, Kidman, Myra...
Wait, Myra?
And Theodore were all part of this plan to get Lily out and take down Mobius.
This is ridiculous.
Unfortunately, Theodore screwed them over because, of course, he wants the power for himself. And Myra became corrupted, as we saw.
I'm Esmeralda Torres.
I'm...
Sebastian. I know. 4 more show up.
Got it. I'll just...
Get under!
Whoa, you alright? Let me
Get your
help.
ass through before I drop it on your head. After that, old man.
Come on. I'm not that old.
Gonna have to duck. Don't blow your back out.
This isn't the time, Torres. Hold on, I've got you.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Hey, you just gonna forget about me?
What? You thought I'd leave you hanging like that?
We see from a distance the new boss of this part of the game, Harbinger. This is a sick-looking enemy. The first game had Laura, the Keeper, and the Sadist. This game has the Guardian, Obscura, and Harbinger. We don't deal with him yet though, as we make our way through these fire guys. When we get to the other side, we make it to Torres' safe house.
Back again, Detective? You're back. New knowledge requires new abilities for the challenges ahead.
If you knew something I didn't, you could have just told me and saved me the headache.
If only I could. But this is a journey you must take alone.
But I'm not alone. I found others to help me. Torres, Hoffman, O'Neill.
They are there to accompany you, but the discovery is yours alone to make. Discovery and self-discovery. That's what makes STEM so intriguing.
Sebastian calls in the cavalry. O'Neill mysteriously doesn't pick up.
You know I'm here for you.
I know. I trust you, Kidman.
What's really cool here in Chapter 11 is we can actually divert from the main objective, back to the financial district, which has changed. Remember how in Chapter 4, it refreshed the map from Chapter 3 with new enemies? That same thing has now happened from the map in Chapter 7, the financial district. Theodore has overtaken the area. You can actually go there and clear out the area now in Chapter 11. We'll wait for Chapter 13 to do this, but it's cool that it's even an option. I love the openness in this game.
You need my assistance again.
I do. I could use some information most of all.
I sense that. But it's all I can sense at this juncture.
What do you mean?
There's something here that's making things murky for me. For everyone in here. Although there aren't many left in here to clear things up for. You're one of the last. But for how long?
That's ominous.
Let's get you taken care of, shall we?
We go across the Marrow into the main laboratory. Dude, look at this hallway. We got ray tracing up in here. This is straight up the Umbrella Lab from Resident Evil 2. This whole lab environment is really cool and a neat change of pace. One of my favorite things about The Evil Within is its ability to instantly change environments and aesthetics while maintaining the dense atmospheric horror feel. There's a door in the lab that can be opened using a shock bolt. This leads us to the final meeting with our good old pal Anima. For this encounter, Anima is hovering around the middle of the room. We must sneak around her and find a way out. After doing so, Sebastian finds files confirming that he was indeed gaslit by the KCPD and his psychologist, who were paid off by Mobius. He then finds his old self from the first game and shoots him. Not what I would do, but it works on a metaphorical level, as he's letting his past that's stuck in Beacon go. Also not the first time Sebastian has shot at himself, if you remember that weird scene from the first game. We awaken back with our old trusty revolver. What an incredible optional set of segments with Anima. We get a cool unlock and some great narrative stuff with Sebastian's character. Back to what we were doing in the lab, we find a way out using this chip we extracted from this dead guy. We hear through a door Hoffman, who's talking to O'Neill? That's right, O'Neill has become corrupted by Theodore and has become one of his harbingers. We get an intense boss fight here, where O'Neill is spitting fire everywhere. There's a lot of things we can do here. We can of course go guns a-blazing, but we can also lose him and try and stealth attack him, which is pretty effective. There are also liquid nitrogen containers around that we can shoot to freeze him. The environment plays a factor as well, as you can set it all ablaze, limiting the space that you can move around in. To combat this, you must activate the sprinkler system. We defeat O'Neill, and as he dies, he helps us by pointing us to a machine that he built that is keeping Theodore hidden.
Didn't want to kill him, but Theodore left me no choice.
Sebastian calls up Torres. We're going to war.
Good. I'm sending you my coordinates. Bring the big guns. We're going hunting.
Okay, here we go. Operation Kick Ass happening in 3, 2, 1.
We destroy the machine and Sebastian is transported to what I assume to be Theodore's dimension. Similar to how we would go to the hotel, which was Stefano's dimension. This is a sick looking environment. I love the atmosphere here with the particles and the blood. We meet yet another enemy type. These big exploder guys who, you guessed it, explode when they get close. We enter Theodore's throne room, which is pretty cool looking. Things get intense as Theodore presents us with a fake Lily to torture Sebastian. Man, Theodore is pushing Sebastian to his limits to try and break him. Theodore is a pretty good villain, actually. Sebastian tries to retaliate but ends up shooting Torres. No! She still drags us out of there and fights a horde of Lost. Sebastian wakes up in his old house. He finds a letter from Myra, and then Myra appears to give a good pep talk.
I forgive you. And Lily will too. But the most important thing is that you forgive yourself.
Forgive yourself.
Man, this story is really damn good. This progression with Sebastian here is quite powerful. We awaken once again in Hoffman's safe house. We see that Torres has died. It's time for revengeance.
I'm sorry, Esmeralda. I'll make sure you didn't die for nothing. I'm gonna hunt him down like the dog that he is.
I sense you're preparing for something you're afraid of.
I'm only afraid of failing. If I don't succeed...
Then you will have sacrificed yourself for a good cause.
If I sacrifice myself, there's no one to finish this. Sacrifice means you've lost.
Sometimes. Sometimes it's what's needed to complete the task at hand.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Now we have to go through the financial district that Theodore has now turned into a hellscape, with fire guys and Harbinger mini-bosses. Defeating the Harbingers gets us flamethrower parts that we can use to make a flamethrower. We get one last mission from Sykes, to clear out an area in the Marrow.
How did a guy like you end up in Mobius in the first place?
A guy like me? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that you've got heart and a backbone. What did you think I meant?
Nothing. Never mind. You know, I actually searched them out to try and join.
Why would you do that?
They're only the most powerful organization in the history of the world, dude. Why wouldn't I?
And you don't consider what they do to be criminal?
Hey, it's only criminal when it's enforced. You know what they say. Quis custodiat, ipsos custodes. Right?
Sure. I'll take your word for it.
This leads to an alternate way out of STEM. Sykes uses this to try and escape. We unfortunately learn that there is only a 1 in 4 chance of it actually working.
Our attempt to use a STEM pod as an emergency exit port has been declared a failure. Despite a 25% success rate, the decision has been made to discontinue research. 1 in 4 test subjects made the trip back successfully. The other 3 simply ceased to be. We believe that the other 75% have been lost in an uncharted sublevel of STEM. A dream within a dream, from which there is no known way to return.
1 in 4 chance. Maybe he'll get lucky.
Dang, I hope he made it out. We do get a double-barrel shotgun. We can also later find a silenced handgun, which is useful for picking away smaller enemies away from groups.
I told you to be careful with that thing, Sykes. Hope you made it out.
We meet up with Hoffman at the hotel. We have a machine that will allow us to traverse to Theodore's base. We get this cool segment where we're fighting in this small circle, defending from incoming enemies.
Are you okay?
Unfortunately, the machine gets broken and Hoffman is engulfed by the flames. This one actually hurts. Man, Sebastian can't catch a break.
Hoffman, no!
I'm sorry, Yukiko. I'll make him pay. I promise. I'll never forget the sacrifice you made, Hoffman.
Another sacrifice has gotten you this far.
Damn it. Why did she have to die? I've lost them all.
It's a tragedy, but they died honorably. One can only hope the trade-off is worth it.
It has to be. Otherwise they died for nothing. I can't bear to think of that.
Then you owe it to them to see this through, to save her, so that their sacrifice wasn't in vain.
You're right. Let's do this. I need all the help I can get at this point.
Here we are at Chapter 14 in Theodore's Temple. This is an incredible looking location, with these burning gibbets that are pouring flames. This is a really cool setting. This segment is very difficult, as we have to get through these flame gates while making our way past a bunch of flame guys and harbingers.
You're emanating power and confidence.
I'm close to the end, and I've learned a few things. I just want to take care of this once and for all.
I can provide you with some help, but...
But what?
You must be cautious. You have overcome challenges, but too much certainty can be dangerous. He will prey on you, using the darkest corners of your mind.
Then I'd better get ready.
After making it through the gauntlet, we finally arrive to Theodore. He once again presents the fake Lily for another guilt trip, but Sebastian has grown since then, as we experienced.
I love you so much, Lily. I always have, and I always will. And I'm gonna save you this time. I promise.
I see you've overcome some of your guilt and pain. But the depth of your past traumas is vast. I know everything about you. I know what lies beneath. You have a deep well of fear from which to draw. You've seen many horrors, and they still haunt your memories. Remember where this all began. Remember Beacon.
It's time for the final trial of Sebastian Castellanos, as we enter the best part of the game. We spawn in at a hallway and hear a familiar noise. Love Sebastian's reaction. We run towards the trusty elevator, but the sadist uses instant transmission. Sebastian has had enough.
Enough of this shit!
Not this time.
This is the most badass thing I've ever seen.
You think this will stop me?
Fuck you.
We get swept away for the next challenger in this boss rush. We have the Keeper back again. This is so hyped. This music too is so good. This is such a fun fight, battling the two Keepers once again. We defeat them and we get the coolest entrance ever by Laura.
I burned you once, and I'll do it again.
she's back. This is so incredible. This is such a great segment. Of course, once again, her weakness is fire, and we have to pull these switches in order to burn her. Sebastian has now reached enlightenment. Theodore is shook, as if he's going up against Batman.
What are you?
I'm Batman. What else have you got?
Then Myra shows up. Theodore tries it and then gets T-1000.
Let's hear you talk your way out of hell, Wallace.
Myra is still too corrupted from her maternal instinct to protect Lily, and is now the next villain for this next bit of the game, which I wish was given as much time as the Stefano and Theodore segments, because the aesthetic and environment change is really cool. The game is going really long already, especially on Nightmare difficulty. It's crazy how much a Nightmare extends the runtime. We're in chapter 15. These next 3 chapters are really short and kind of just blend together into one big finale. Sebastian tries to reach out to Myra, but the corruption is too strong.
You're facing your worst enemy, the one who you love.
I don't understand why she's doing this.
Her maternal instinct is strong. It's overwhelming her. She only remembers what it is to be a mother. It's been too long since she's been a wife.
I wish I could talk some sense into her.
Sometimes it's difficult to convince the ones you love of what they refuse to believe. You should understand that more than most.
Huh. I see what you're saying.
Just remember that you're doing the right thing. Lily doesn't belong here. Myra must understand this. There is still a piece of her somewhere inside, like a dying ember.
I hope you're right.
Union has now straight up turned into Silent Hill. We get yet even more enemy type with these new Lost variants. These guys are insanely tough.
You're pretty good.
We fight our way through the wasteland that is Union and have a boss fight against this fucking siren head thing. Super random, but super cool. We run into Myra again, who yeets us into limbo for chapter 16. This environment is insanely cool looking. Look at that black hole or whatever. Union is on its last legs here. We don't have much time to get Lily and Myra out. Love how the safe room has now seamlessly manifested into the world. We get our final conversation with Tatiana, whose conversations we've had with throughout the game have been incredible and meaningful. This is actually pretty sad saying goodbye.
You look like you could use some help, Detective. I'm afraid that this will be the last time I can help you. I feel the end approaching.
You've been here for me the whole time. Both times.
Maybe I've been with you longer than that.
What do you mean? Who are you?
I'm who I've always been. I'm who I'll always be. I'm who you turn to when you need inner strength. And you need me now more than ever.
And when this is all over?
When this is all over, you won't need me again.
Because this will be over? Or because I'll be dead?
The same answer applies either way. Now, let's get you ready.
Sebastian makes the climb to his house where Myra is waiting. We make one final effort, but Myra's corruption takes full control as she turns into a creature known as the Matriarch. Dude, this boss fight is insane. The scale and the creature design here is so impressive. This is an intense, visually stunning final boss. Chapter 17 is a cinematic masterpiece of a finish, as we get these awesome transitions between Sebastian and Kidman. Kidman, the badass that she is, starts a revolt against Mobius, and we get to play as her with these shooting segments, which are pretty janky to be honest. Sebastian finally, after all this time, gets to Lily. Myra is back and uncorrupted, but can't go with us, as she has to stay to ensure Mobius' destruction.
We're finally together again.
There's no other choice. This is part of the plan. It always has been. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what to say about this sequence other than it's incredibly emotional and powerful.
Promise to take care of the little one. Never let her forget how much her mother loved her.
Myra. There's so much I want to say to you.
You don't have to say anything. I've been watching you all this time. I know how you've suffered, what they did to you, what I did to you. You didn't ask for any of this. And you've been into hell twice for it. It's time for you to leave now. To live the life that was taken from you.
I love you, Myra.
I love you too. Both of you. That's why I'm doing this. But there's no more time. You have to go, now!
Dude, this story is like so much better than the first games. Sebastian is straight up the best survival horror protagonist. Kidman makes her way to the Mobius control room and confronts the G-Man.
It's not too late to stop this, kid. If you do, I promise to kill you quickly. Otherwise, the punishment for your betrayal will be legendary.
I'm going to be legendary, all right. Legendary for taking you down! A world without choice isn't a utopia. A hive mind only works with a queen that controls it. Join us or die? Well, guess what? There's a third choice. And that's fuck you!
You're foolish!
Sebastian makes a mad dash with Lily to the escape route. Yo, he straight up uses his powers here, I'm telling you. The plan works as the chip inside every Mobius agent explodes and kills them. Damn. Sebastian awakens from the STEM terminal and with Kidman get Lily out as well. It's finally over. What an incredibly satisfying ending, as Kidman is now free from the shackles of Mobius, and Sebastian and Lily ride off into the sunset.
But I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to find. As I try to make my way to the ordinary world, I will learn to survive.
In a post-credits, we see that the STEM system is still active. I forgot to mention, but after collecting all the slide photos, the last slide is revealed to us, and it's about Joseph.
What? You want me to sit in the chair?
Congratulations, Sebastian. You've almost completed the inner journey that you began so long ago. You have faced down your own demons. You have risked great harm to emerge triumphant. But there is still a memory that you've refused to confront.
What do you mean?
Here, this will help you.
Joseph. My partner. My friend.
Sebastian? Calling back so soon. What's up?
After all this time, there's something we've never talked about.
Sounds ominous. What is it?
Not what. Who. Joseph.
Right. I know that you respected Joseph and that he felt the same way towards you.
I never had the opportunity to make amends about that. Things were confusing after Beacon. I should have tried to get answers about what happened. I mean, I know what happened. Don't worry, I can't fault you for what you did. But I still blame myself for his death.
You don't have to do that, Sebastian.
Why not? You'd prefer that I blame you? You're the one who actually killed him.
No, I didn't.
I saw you shoot him, Kidman.
I know you did, but
But what?
Joseph isn't dead.
What? Are you... No. It can't. What happened to him? Where is he?
That's a long story. And a conversation for another time. When we're both safe. Just know that you don't have to blame yourself for his death anymore. I've got to go, Sebastian. Let's finish this and we can talk later.
Yeah. You bet we're gonna talk later.
Yo, Evil Within 3, let's go. Make it happen. The unlocks we get are the aspect ratio, of course, and the magnum, and the brass knuckles for beating it on Nightmare.
Congratulations. You're as good as you're going to get. Now you can stop gathering up all that green gel.
What a masterpiece of a game. There are a few problems here and there, I guess, but they don't sour the experience at all for me. I appreciate everything that's in here. All the environments are so well made, the atmosphere is so good, the creature design, everything about it, the story is so good, so much better than the first game. Many survival horror games, especially Resident Evil, don't have stories this good. The only other survival horror games that have a story as good as this would be Silent Hill 2, Resident Evil 7 or 8, and Alan Wake 2. And this game is so underrated, so many people haven't played it. It gets so overlooked, but it's so good. It's one of my favorite games ever made. It has such a charm to it. It's actually scary as well. I think they upped the horror aspect from the first game. Boss fights are incredible. So many optional things that you can find in the world, like those anima segments and some of the other side quests that are heavily rewarding in both a narrative sense and gameplay wise. And all of this before the big survival horror resurgence that came with the Resident Evil remakes. This came out the same year as Resident Evil 7. That game seems to get a lot of the credit for returning to survival horror, but even more so, Resident Evil 2 Remake definitely gets the spotlight a lot for reinvigorating the genre, but this game and Resident Evil 7 definitely did so before that. Even the first Evil Within brought survival horror to a new level after the genre had been so stagnant for such a long time, especially after Resident Evil dropped the ball and made everything action-oriented. I really hope we get another one of these games. They're so good. I wouldn't want Sebastian to return because his story has concluded in a really satisfying way. I would love to see The Evil Within 3 have Yuri Lowenthal return as Joseph, and we see where the hell he's been this whole time. Maybe Kidman can play a part. We can find out why the STEM system was activated in that post-credit scene. Maybe we can see what Ruvik has been up to in Leslie's body. So many things we could do. And there's hope for an Evil Within 3. Ghostwire Tokyo, Tango Gameworks' game that released after this, started development as The Evil Within 3. Shinji Mikami also lately posted on Facebook that the franchise could return as well, even though he has retired and left Tango Gameworks. We'll see, but overall this game is a fantastic survival horror masterpiece, and one of my favorite games ever made.
What the hell? What the hell? What the fuck? What in the hell? What the fuck? What the hell is this place? What the hell? What the hell? What the fuck is going on here? What the fuck did you just send me into? What the hell? What in the hell? What the hell was that? What the fuck is happening? What the hell is this doing here? What the hell is going on? What the hell is this supposed to be? It's sick. What the hell? What the hell is this? What the fuck is that? What the hell is this stuff? What the hell are these things about? What the hell is he doing to these people? What the hell is going on here? What the hell is this? What? Evil Within, too. Hell yes!
You're pretty good.